Hey friends, it's me again. I have my tea again. And I'm, surprisingly, or not, going to talk about the video thing again. Sorry, I don't know. Awkward here. So, going off what we talked about a couple classes ago, the Sarah Miller article on her project with kids in Durban and Plymouth, I think. Anyway, so that was a really interesting article for me to read because it sort of basically did what I have been talking about. That idea of exchanging videos. And I mean, she had it set up in a different way than I have proposed, but it was basically, I was like, I guess this has already been done. Okay. I guess I wasn't unique. Um, but no, I really enjoyed reading that article and hearing what she had to say. So I'm going to respond a bit to the questions that were created by Kate and Laura, and respond to them in relation to my project ideas. So the idea of liberal multiculturalism, um, and finding the similarities as opposed to the differences between people, um, and focusing on those. I feel like that's sort of where my project was headed, and looking at our discussion and things, I wonder if that's a good idea or not. I think it ends up, you need to celebrate the culture of other people, and it came up in discussion. Somebody said there are people out there who say, oh, I don't see color, which is a little bit ridiculous because people's skin color is part of them and it's part of their heritage, and by saying you don't see it, you erase that part of their culture and that part of who they are, and that's not okay. So I think with my video student run blog exchange, I don't have a, that's not a catchy title. We'll work on that. I think there needs to be an idea of finding the similarities, as the liberal multiculturalists say, and focusing on shared humanity, but also finding moments to celebrate our differences. And so you see with the kids in Plymouth and Durban, like, they found those differences and they discussed them, and I think that's really important. And I think that's something that I would want this video series to do. I think I'd want the kids to not only be like, oh hey, here's a kid from Japan who's likes, I don't know, the same film as me. Wow, that's really cool. We're both, nerds. But also to find those moments, be like, wow, their culture and the way they interact with each other, and they interact with people of different ages, that's so different from our Western views. That's so unique, and I think that's something that we need to focus on as well, and to celebrate those differences and learn about them and understand them and be like, oh, so here's how we're the same, but here's how we're different, and that's okay. And to celebrate that, and I forget what class I read this article on. It was an article about celebrating or dealing with the idea of othering. I think it was for a different class, but anyways, it relates. And one of the things is celebrating and breaking down that idea of us versus them. And some of the ways to do that is through interaction and through dialogue, and then through celebrating the differences and not making them, oh my days, we're different, ugh, gross, but being like, oh hey, cool, we have these differences, that makes you you, that is part of your culture and your identity, that's really awesome. So yeah, I think there would be a way to to incorporate that into this video idea, that you, I don't know, you ask questions, and through the dialogue between the different countries, there are moments where it's like, the facilitator's like, okay, respond to the similarities. Like, what's your response to that? Or in just, even if it's just in, it's not making videos about it, but it's just in class reflection, that the kids write reflections on things like, where do you see the differences? What does that difference mean to you? And how do we challenge the stereotypes that we see as being usually what makes people different? And how does this challenge them? How does it reinforce them? What are the boundaries between them, etc.? And anyways, I think that's all I got. So yeah, that's me for today. Thanks. I realize I was super distracted, and I'm sorry, but hey, video blog.